What's going on, YouTubers? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Gorilla, and welcome everyone to All Elite Wrestling Review, the show from August 25th, 2021, where they're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where you have good old Gerald Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone on commentary, and this will mark as CM Punk's debut on Dynamite, which we'll get to that when we get to it. So yes, because this was advertised since him returning to pro wrestling and him making his debut on AEW and making his debut on AEW's second episode, which the first dance in Chicago, Illinois, at the United Center, Rampage, and this would be CM Punk's second appearance on AEW programming on TNT. So we'll get to that when we get to it. We get to the opening match though with Orange Cassidy versus Big Money Matt Mitsay and Matt Hardy. And match happens. I was coming to the match where I had low expectations of this match, but coming to the match, I enjoyed the match for what it was. And then I saw a spot where Orange Cassidy went for a flying crossbody onto Matt Hardy, where I believe I don't know how it happened. Matt Hardy, you know, felt the effects of the flying crossbody by Orange Cassidy, and apparently, the knee of Orange Cassidy hit the head Matt Hardy, and then from there, I mean, not from the head, not well, basically to the face, but to the nose of Matt Hardy with his nose. The knees hitting the nose of Matt Hardy. I see myself. I hope hopefully that doesn't get too serious with that whole thing because it was a flying cross body and with the height of it too and all. Hopefully, that wasn't a case of him having a bleeding nose. Apparently, that's what happened. So and it kept on bleeding. It kept like a faucet, and like, yep, he may have a broken nose, but he's still gonna do it. And then in the end, Matt Hardy is losing when Orange Cassidy gets him in the cradle and pin him for the win. And that was it. Not much to say about that. But yeah, it was unfortunate how the match ended because the blood wouldn't stop coming out of Matt Hardy's nose because I'm pretty sure he suffered a broken nose, which is why I'm pretty sure the match had to end the way it ended because I think it was going for something bigger than that. So it's unfortunate. We go to a promo backstage where Malachi Black cuts a promo on Brock Anderson, tells him that he is in over his head, says that he will give him a way out, and offers a Brock a chance to run out of the ring and before the bell rings, and just take the time, take the count out. Says that Brock will have to apologize to him and think about the idiotic I mean the awareness, not that he has about to commit himself to getting in the ring with him, and says that he's a man of his words, and if Brock doesn't do that, he will take it out on Brock's dad, Arn Anderson, and anyone associated with the Nightmare family, and that was it. And then he says, "Fight me." Not just kidding. But yeah, it was good from there from Malachi Black. So Chris Jericho makes his way to the ring, and I did not like this at all because not the promo itself, but of what he's going to say. So here's what he said. He says this has been one of the biggest weeks in AEW history. Says that everyone has been celebrating this week. Everyone expected him. Everyone except for him, meant to say, except for him. Chris Jericho says, he's not happy at all because he had a chance to end the fifth labrum of Jericho by beating MJF, but he lost. And lost him three times basically to MJF, which is true. He's lost chance to his AEW records. MJF has beaten Chris Jericho three times. Jericho says that it's been driving him crazy all week because he always strive to be to be better and getting on the top, even if it meant hitting him with a light bulb, a light tubes meant to say, and power bombs 15 times in the ring, basically what takes a Warlow. But the light tubes one, Nick Gage. Jericho says that the fact that he uh beat MJF is driving him. They can't be MJF, I should say, it's driving him nuts, and cause a earworm in his brain. Says that until this end, he'll keep continuing on, attacking MJF every single week, no matter where it, where it will take him to, um, you know, until it is until it's over, and says that he doesn't give a shit. He's going to beat MJF and basically challenges him one more fight, final match at All Out, and I'm like, no, 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 no more. That's it. That's it. That's no more matches between these two. That's it. You're done. You're done. No more Jericho and MJF matches. That's run close already. No more of that. But it did happen. But we'll get to that. Says that if he can't beat MJF, then he doesn't belong in AEW anymore. He says if he can't beat MJF, then he will move over to the commentary full time, which I'm pretty sure he means which is to AEW's Rampage. And I'm like, no, because remember the first episode of Rampage, he was all over the place. He was shouting a lot. He was overexcited, and talking over on the other commentators and everything. He was atrocious on that night. I don't know if because he was having too much of a little bit of the bubbly, at the time, or had a little too much of the energy drinks or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with Chris Jericho on that night, but the last thing we want is to have that type of Chris Jericho every Friday night on commentary on Rampage. Especially if he's gonna be on commentary on chance to Dynamite, because Jim Ross talks about how he doesn't want to be on commentary full time no more. Only when it tends to special occasions like pay-per-views or whatever have you. Uh, but I'm not saying Chris Jericho was a bad commentator and all that, but that on that night, I mean, he did great. He did a great job on commentary, but he was all over the place where that no one else got the opportunities to to say what they got to say with to put in their 2 cents into what they got to say on commentary, because Jericho kept cutting them off and shouting over the voice and everything. It was bad. It was so bad. Um, but it was so funny that Jericho did commentary on that night too. But man, he was overexposing himself on commentary. So yeah, Jericho did that. And the reason why Jericho said that did that too is because everyone has been saying that online that Jericho has been atrocious on commentary on that one, and that's why he did that. So basically, it's like if Jericho can't beat MJF, then he's gonna retire from wrestling and he's gonna be he's gonna be doing commentary from now on. So MJF comes out. And I'm like, no, don't come out, please don't come out. Let's just stay back there. Stay back there. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. So MJ had a t-shirt that says MJF 3, Jericho 0. Paying homage to Chris Jericho's old days of WCW, which is to his own undefeated streak against Goldberg. So MJF says that he sees through Jericho and knows that Jericho realized years ago that if he's going to stay to stay relevant, he needed to get a rub on the fastest rising star, young star should say, in wrestling, which is MJF. Says that Jericho's cash cow is out of milk, and says that he made a promise to himself after tapping Jericho out faster than someone listening to a Fozzy CD. Ouch. That he would never face Jericho again. He says, that he tapped Jericho cool. I mean, out. I mean, him tapping, he's saying him tapping Jericho out is cool. But getting to say that he ended the career of Chris Jericho, his legendary career, is more satisfying. So he agrees to the match. Tells Jericho that, to Rekisan, it's because he is the man that has mopped the floor with him 3 times, and he's gonna do it again and all that. So and there you go. And that was it. And I kept saying, no, 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 don't, I don't want to see the match again. No, no. But hey, anything better than QT Marshall versus Paul White. I'll say that. Because that feud dropped they dropped the ball with that build up for that feud for All Out, which it should be on the buy-in, in my opinion. Especially that they're really heavily in advertising the Casino Battle Royale for the women's for All Out on TV, where they're making that as a big deal. But it's on the pre-show, it's on the buy-in. I think it's a big mistake, a huge mistake, especially with the matches that they added on there too. Right, like why those matches are on there, and the Christina Battle Royale for the women's is on the buy-in. Especially when you're gonna have a Sir Storm making her debut there. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's if she debuts, but we'll see. Tag team eliminator tournament semifinals between the Varsity Blondes with Joey Hart at ringside, which is Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. versus the Lucha Bros, coming by Alex Abrahantes, which is El Zero Miedo and Rey Phoenix. So the match happens, ends up being pretty good, and obviously in the end it was the Lucha Bros getting the win. So there you go. At the match, by the way, yeah, the young goofs coming out there to watch the on the match. The AEW World Tag Team Champions. And you had and then you had the Lucha Bros. I mean, you had the Jessica Expressman to say who came into the ring because they were at ringside, sitting in the front rows over to watch the match, and they basically have a stare down with them until we get to the match at Rampage. Martinez to who's going on the finals, which we'll get to when I get that review. And then the young fools, the young goofs, the young trash came in the ring and shoved Jurassic Express into Lucha Bros. And then they left, and also they I don't remember how they got back in the ring, but I think it was because Pat came out there, or whatever, and then the Elite, you know, came out there too. Some kind of altercation happened after that. And you can hear right now sirens. That's why I had it on mute. So then we get to a review package highlighting Andrade and Pac's feud, which is going to lead to the match at All Out. Which I can't wait to see that match and see how that turns out. I think the match could be a show stealer once we get to it. But we'll see. Jamie Hayter being accompanied by the AEW Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Rebel out there versus Red Velvet. Jamie Hayter and Red Velvet had a match here. Pertains to have to happen at happened from the first episode of Rampage, with Jamie Hayter make her return to AEW to be alongside with Britt Baker and Rebel. So they had a match here, and it started off solid. But Jamie Hayter, I love her outfit by the way, and I love her ass. Um, and I love how she how dominant she looked it. Red Velvet had some offense in as well. But there was some spots where there was some slapping moments at one point, and then we get to the part where Red Velvet knocks off Britt Baker off the apron because she's trying to get involved. Jimmy Hayter at this point was laid out in the ring, and then Red Velvet went for her patented standing moonsault that she always does, picture perfect and all that. Except when she went for her standing moonsault, she overshot it and she missed. That was so bad, but it got me dying laughing. Oh my god! Oh. If you have seen on the live reactions for the Asylum, I couldn't stop laughing. Even when they did the Dark Horse segment, and then and then it kept going on to get to the commercial break, and then CM Punk came out there. Oh, I mean, for a while, I just stopped for a while there, but every time I kept bringing it back up, I kept on laughing and laughing about because it was one of the most funniest things, the most funniest botch I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I've seen a lot of botches, that made me laugh before, but this one took the cake. Oh my god! But to give credit where credit's due to Red Velvet, at least she didn't no sold it. At least she actually sold it when she missed, and she she didn't yeah, obviously I know she felt embarrassed about it, but at least she didn't no sold it. She sold it pretty well when she missed it, and also to give credit to Jamie Hater as well. At least she didn't sell it either. She didn't pretend to keep hitting with the moonsault and it's like, oh, she was just laying there and then waiting for a cue to capitalize on it, and she did. She pounded on Red Velvet and then give her the like a Sheamus Uranagi backbreaker, which he calls it the Celtic Cross or the Irish Curse. Yeah, the Irish Curse backbreaker, I meant to say. And then Jimmy Hater went for her clothesline, a stiff clothesline, and got the win. So basically, what pertains to Red Velvet go for a standing moonsault, and she missed. That cost her the match. Oh my god, that was so funny. That was so funny. After the match, though, after Jimmy Hater won the match, it was obvious that Jimmy Hater was going to win, but that was not good. That was not going to be the finish. I'm pretty sure it was going to be a different finish, but because that that botch happened, oh man, they had to call an audible. You had no choice but to call an audible on that one. So they had to finish it up and wrap it up because that was way too embarrassing for Red Velvet. And I feel bad. At the end of the day, I was laughing and everything. I couldn't help people to laugh about it, but at the same time, I feel bad for her. You know, I feel bad. I really did. So they kept beating up on her and everything. They kept beating her because how dare you botch the match? How dare you botch the spot? You ruined the match. You ruined everything. You, they're beating up on poor Red Velvet and everything. Bullying her and all that, stomping on her because you screwed up everything. You ruined everything. You're green as fuck. Red Velvet. You're more like green velvet. But then Chris Sandler came out there and helped her. Basically saved her. And basically, Chris Sandler put up Chris Sandler and Britt Baker for the match at All Out for the title. So, and that was it. Then we get to the Dark Order. Evil Uno says they have some issues, but they stand together because they support their friends. And then Alex Jones starts laughing, and he says, because of Evil Uno's Grayson on holding back the Dark Order, the Hangman and the Page got beaten up, and we haven't heard from him since. And then Evil Uno tells him that they did it for the group, and if he doesn't like it, he can go back in John Silver's shadow where he belongs. And then this upsets the rest of the Dark Order, and they stormed off and all. And Evil was trying to apologize, and I apologize. I don't know what to wrong me and everything. I don't know what to make of this. Um, I don't know if they're planning on breaking up the Dark Order, or I don't know if they're gonna bring someone in to help the Dark Order to lead them to a darker path. Because they've been got as jokes ever since there's no more Brody Lee. But we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Then we get CM Punk, the best in the world, gets interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and CM Punk says to Tony Schiavone, sorry, I can't hear you right now because the crowds were chanting for CM Punk, loudly. And then he starts on the drummer. Also, the interview came back on the roll where he name drops a lot of AEW's talents, especially pertains to Darby Allin, and talks about how he's going to retire his nickname, the Voice of the Voiceless, because AEW fans have a voice, and there are the people in the back that listen. So yeah, he's basically referring to being called the Voice of the Voices back in the days when he was in WWE. Because which is CM Punk being the voice of the voiceless. You know, it's not it was not because of the fans, obviously. It was because of the you know of the wrestlers that that had not been booked and not been trained right during the times in WWE that were reversely fired during those times. I can give you a good example. Chris Masters, now Chris Adonis, Luke Gallows, now it's now it's Doc Gallows. Basically, those. Also Vladimir Kozlov, but well, we don't know what he's doing nowadays. So unfortunately, how they trade him off this run. Punk says that Darby Allin is reckless to a point of destruction, and says that he looks at Allin and asks himself if he can still go and if he can still have it, and to find that that he has to face someone like Darby Allin. And it says that that he sees someone that would have been his favorite wrestler when he was 15, and when he looks at Darby Allin, he does see someone like a Darby Allin to be one of his favorites if he was 15 years old. Says that Darby Allin doesn't fit the mold of what someone else, like CM Punk is basically like Darby Allin, where where CM Punk doesn't fit the mold, and Darby Allin's that same thing. Says that sees as a professional wrestler just like Punk. Says that Darby Allin isn't the biggest or the strongest, but he has heart, and if he's going to answer those questions to himself, he has to beat Darby Allin. And the fans starts chanting, yes, yes, yes. And then CM Punk said to basically tell the fans, that's not my stick, but you have to be a little more patient for that guy. And the crowds lost their minds. Now, some people may say that, CM Punk just spoiled Dan Bryan, Bryan Danielson, which I want to say, but he's not WWE anymore. So he's not Daniel Bryan anymore. He's Bryan Danielson. He's the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. He's not the yes man. He's not the goat face. He's not the WWE's Daniel Bryan. He's Bryan Danielson. He's the pro wrestler Bryan Danielson. Now back to the whole thing with the spoiled thing. CM Punk spoiled that he's coming to the AEW. It's been spoiled. It's been out there. Because if unless Bryan Danielson isn't coming in, then CM Punk ain't coming in. Because Bryan Danielson is coming into AEW, that gives CM Punk 100% clearance to come back to pro wrestling, and of all places to come back to pro wrestling is AEW. So with CM Punk coming in, that right there already told you that Bryan Danielson is coming in too. We just don't know when he's going to be coming in. Now we do know when he was supposed to come in, but unfortunately plans change. But we'll get to that when we get close to it. Once I get close to those reviews. But yeah, but for those people that saying that he should never spoiled it, he didn't really spoil it because we already knew it. We already knew he was coming into AEW. Ever since he's been gone from WWE, Bryan Danielson of his contract run out, and still working with them, he took until he pulled over Roman Reigns because Bryan Silver pulled over Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is the top dog right now in WWE. But yeah, we knew the negotiations with Bryan Danielson and the WWE wasn't going to work out because Bryan Danielson did not just want to work in WWE. He wanted working elsewhere too, in Japan, in Mexico, wherever he wanted to work at as to be an independent contractor pro wrestler in WWE. Which we're saying through those contracts is bullshit. If you're if they label you in that contract as independent contractors, there is no such thing as that. They tried with CM Punk and it failed. They tried with other guys. It failed. Bottom line is, with the contract of all of them being independent contractors is bullshit. Because unless they're working elsewhere, outside of WWE, then they're not independent contractors. And the contract's bullshit at the end of the day. And that's what Bryan Danielson was trying to do. Negotiations unfortunately didn't work out with WWE and Japan Pro Wrestling. And whole negotiation with Daniel Bryan, to resign with them didn't work out, so he's gone. And that's why they took out the some of his merch and they lowered his price of his merch on the shop. which is why he is gone from the company. After everything, he put out his heart and soul and blood, sweat, and tears, and of being concussed, a broken neck, whatever have you, whatever, any type of broken bones or any bruises, whatever that he put in that company, and this is how they repay him by not giving him what he wants, even though they gave him some creative influence of his character and all that when he came back to wrestle, that bullshit retirement they have him do. So yeah, um, unfortunately things didn't work out, so he left because he was, to be honest with you, he wasn't really happy in that company anyways, because they feel like they took away the one thing that he loves the most, and that's pro wrestling, and that's what Brian Danielson is all about, pro wrestling. At the end of the day, it's all about pro wrestling. So, with that being said, what pertains to being a little more patient, we were going to be a little more patient of it too in September. Well, obviously, we're in September right now, but we're just to to 22nd. We're supposed to be a little more patient on that date. We're just to Grand Slam on just to have been being in Queens, New York for the Dynamite show. But unfortunately, plans change. We'll get to more of that later. And then CM Punk ends the promo by saying, April, I love you, something like that. You're basically giving her a shout out, and that was it. So there you go. Great promo, CM Punk as usual, being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, even though Tony Schiavone Andre do much of an interview with him. So but it was good. It was good though. They have interactions in the ring there. It's monumental. Miro cuts a promo on Eddie Kingston, says that he will drown him in the river because he is his judgment. Miro demands a match against Eddie Kingston at All Out, or he will burn the place to the ground. And that's the Redeemer. That's God's very champion, the TNT champion, Miro. And he has spoken. There you go. A trios match. Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, and Darby Allin being covered by Sting versus the Wingmen, J.D. Drake, Ryan Nemeth, and Cesar Bonelli being accompanied by Peter Avalon. For whatever reason, J.D. Drake, I meant to say, he looked like Roadkill from ECW. Match happens. It was what it is. I mean, the Wingmen got their ass kicked by the way. They really got their ass kicked. And obviously, Moxley, Allin, and Kingston won the match. After the match, though, Daniel Garcia attacks Darby Allin, and then Moxley, Sting, Kingston gets in the ring, and then this Daniel Garcia didn't leave the ring on his own. The referee pushed him out of the ring. Was Bryce Rensburg. I'm like, what the hell was that about? I want to see more referees do that one, just to these post match attacks, but they don't do that at all. For a reason, Bryce Rensburg did that to Daniel Garcia. I'm like, what the hell was that about? Like, what? I don't understand that at all. But whatever. But it's linked to the match between Garcia and Allin. I think it was on Rampage, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, but not from the ones after 2 days after Dynamite. It was basically for the it's been built for the home show of Rampage for All Out. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to that match. Once Friday comes around. Alex Marvez, he interviews Ty Conti, but she gets interrupted immediately by the bunny about why is she still hanging out with the losers of the Dark Order. She should be with the winners of the Hardy Family Office. So she gets her a contract, but only Ty Conti did not accept it. She read the contract, and then the bunny slaps Ty Conti, and they start fighting, and then we get a pull apart, and that was it. And that will lead to a match for Rampage. From August 27th, 2021. We'll get to that when we get to that review. Dax Harwood, cause of promo, pertains to the nerves and Cash hand aren't right still, and he can't guarantee they will be back together full time ever again until Cash steps into the frame of the view and says that he doesn't know if he will ever be the same. But where he comes from, you rub some dirt on it and you keep going. And says that they won't stop until they get the the pound of flesh of which is to proud and powerful. So good from there. And I love that that's why we're teasing that Cash Wheeler could be done with wrestling, and then Cash Wheeler comes in there and like psych. That's basically what it was. So swerved. Kenny Omega he gets interviewed by Tony Schiavone, only to get the microphone taken away by Don Callis, and that was it for Tony Schiavone on interviewing. And Don Callis says that they will take down Christian Cage once when they get to All Out, which Christian Cage comes out and he says he sures the he sure yeah that he sures the fans in Milwaukee have a few drinks by now, but it's definitely not enough to listen to a bullshit from the elite. And basically, show a video package of that Don Callis ran during his time in Impact Wrestling, where he talks about Don Callis firing him from the first wrestling job and hiring a 10-year-old Kenny Omega instead, and calls him a crony piece of shit once again. And this pissed off Kenny Omega to the point where the fans were kept chanting, Carney piece of shit, Carney shit, something like that. And then Don Callis says that, you know, just show him to be like Vern Gagne, Bill Watts, and Vince McMahon giving him family a leg up, but Kenny Omega is damn sure no Greg Gagne. Christian Cage says that he can't believe he just fell asleep, standing up. Basically, because I guess Don Callis bored him to death. Says that it's sad that Callis was manipulating Kenny Omega at 10 years old, but even more sad, he's still doing it today. Callis says that Christian Cage will find out all out that Christian Cage is still what he has always been, second best. Christian Cage goes to attack on Callis, but then they beats him up, and all of a sudden you get freaking Sterling coming in for the save, but he did say that with a gimmick of steel pipe, which looked like it was cardboard. I mean, it was funny though. Yeah, how it looked though. John Moxley, he cuts a promo about Satoshi Kojima. He's obviously trying to challenge him at All Out because unfortunately we couldn't get Hiroshi Tanahashi because Hiroshi Tanahashi has some dates for in Japan Pro Wrestling. I thought because of the whole COVID situation, where with some travel issues and all that. No, that's not the case at all. Because it's because Hiroshi Tanahashi, he's the United States champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling since he beat Lance Archer. Which talk about cutting the legs off of Lance Archer there after winning the belt. But that's why Hiroshi Tanahashi couldn't do it, which is unfortunate because that would have been a great match to have at All Out between Moxley and Tanahashi. But now we're gonna have another great match between Moxley and Kojima at All Out. So that's something to look forward to. And it says basically Moxley says that he feels sorry for the old man, but because this will be the public execution of Kojima, he's not gonna be sorry after that. So and that's Moxley. Trios match where you have Paul White on commentary, where you see the Gun Club, Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn versus the Factory, Nick Camarado, Aaron Solo, and QT Marshall. And match happens. I really wasn't into the match that much. And then you have QT Marshall taunting Paul White while he's on commentary. And then Paul White gets on commentary at one point, because I guess he was pissed off, like, oh, show to my first. And then all of a sudden, Colton Gunn rolls up QT Marshall for the pin and wins. And Sam said, huh? QT Marshall gets pinned? So what's the point of the match for QT Marshall and Paul White at All Out? Wow, you really... And they just cut the leg off of QT Marshall too as well. Jeez. Dan Lambert. He's coming to promo alongside with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. And from there, it just got stupid. I thought the whole thing was with Dan Lambert scoping him the top team. Instead, he's signed along with QT Marshall and Well, thank God he's not doing that with Kid Marshall. But he's teaming up with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Says that he blames AW for feeding the fans chicken shit, knowing they would think it's chicken shit, but the real people he should blame are the fans because they want to see some lazy douche in tights jeans with his hands in his pockets, referring to Orange Cassidy, instead of real men. He says AEW fans don't want to see tough men because they aren't tough. He says they just want to go to safe space at wrestling shows where they can break down and cry because their favorite wrestler shows up and says that Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are real men and they are the men that the fans should be looking up to. And there you go. And then we get to our Anderson backstage. I'm assuming an interview by Alex Marvez says that his son is over his head, but his son is an Anderson, so sometimes he has more guts than brains. Says that he is in it all the way, and his son says no matter what happens, to stay out of it. Then we get to the main event. Malachi Black with his cool entrance because he's cool, unlike Triple H. Throwing shade there versus Brock Anderson being covered by Arn Anderson. Match happens. Brock Anderson got some offense, but then in the end, it was a dominant faction offense, I should say, of Malachi Black. And then Arn Anderson teasing the door the towel, and they said, Malachi's like, go ahead, door the towel, and you know, you know, go against your son's disobey your son. And then Arn Anderson thought twice of it, and like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then Malachi Black goes for the Black Mass, basically wrote his death certificate for Brock Anderson, and the match ends. Pinfall. Wow. After the match, Arn Anderson gets a steel chair. No, sorry. Arn Anderson goes to check up on his son, and then Malachi Black gets a steel chair. And Arn Anderson, oh really? You want to hit me with a steel chair? Why don't you fight me like a man, And then Malachi Black goes on the chair, goes with Black Mask, but Arn Anderson blocks it like boom, like he's Bruce Lee. And he's like, that's the best you got. And then Malachi Black's like, oh, kicks him in the balls. I'm like, huh? And then he gets him a Black Mask, and he's going to finish the job. But then Lee Johnson comes out, and Malachi Black's like, nope, I'm out here. I was like, I'm not fighting on your time. If we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight on my time. That's what, and that's how the show ends. And that was the show. Returns to AEW Dynamite from August 25th, 2021. I believe that was 5 matches on the show, or maybe I think it was 6 matches. Maybe just double check. All right, maybe triple check it now. Triple check it. No, triple check it. 6 matches for the 12-hour wrestling. Especially, and the main event was short as hell, by the way. But my overall score for the show, I remember. Oh yeah, I remember. I give it a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. Just because of that. Not because it was a good show and all. I mean, you have some things that I didn't like about the show either. But you have some good matches on the show. Matt Cutback still looks strong. You have some good promos on the show. Those some segments that I did not take fond of and all. But the botch that Bird Hobbit did was awesome and funny, and it made my night. So 9 out of 10. And CM Punk being there too, so it definitely gets 9 out of 10. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. As I continue on catching up more of AEW reviews, we're going to try to give you Rampage, and we'll change the Dynamite, and then we'll change to next week's I won't say next week because it's this week actually. This week's Rampage that's coming up on Friday. I'll get to that once we get through that. But in the meantime, I'm wrapping from here for It's Natural Born Thriller saying peace on the streets. You all take care.